Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to
Sippin'
Sass. Sippin' shit is not what anyone wanted.
Oh, shit. What was that? Oh. I'm so fired. Okay, sorry. Welcome to
Sippin' Sass.
Did we just make a theme song?
Yeah, it was really good too. It was like so harmonic.
It's not as good as Fatty's in the Kitchen.
Patty's in the kitchen.
You have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Remember that time when we did Patty's in the Kitchen?
Because we were fat.
Oh, COVID. What a time in life that was.
We're fat.
We were. We used to be.
I gotta move that over.
What's happening?
We're not in the...
I feel like I'm not in the frame anymore. Oh, just kidding.
You're fine.
I kid.
You're fine.
Okay, listen.
Big day today.
Big day.
Big. Huge. I have to go shopping now. Gold star for the reference.
Yes. So tonight's show was a surprise entry.
It was.
An unplanned entry,
It was
if you will.
not on the radar at first.
Well, I had said, oh, maybe we could go see this one, and he was like, no.
I also was like, well, maybe. It wasn't like, oh, I'm dying to see that.
But then, like, he was no. And then we asked Steven, and he, Steven, he's just a jaded old stage manager, and he doesn't say anything, and everything is mad to him. So he wasn't a good. Anyway, so today we got to spend. I got to spend a little bit of the morning with Josh, and then this evening he came to the show with us.
Our cute little Josh Jensen.
Josh Jensen.
Who I love him so much. Are we allowed to talk about his news?
No.
No.
But anyway, Jerry gave Josh 2 choices, and Josh was like, well, this one has, original music and stuff.
You guys.
You guys. Do you remember last time?
Or should I say you girls?
You remember last time we were here and I was real bitter because he made me go to 6 and I didn't want to, and then it ended up being such a great show. I wasn't bitter about this one, but it's kind of like that, where it's like,
it's so good.
I guess we'll go and see it. It is such a good show.
It's so good.
Like, I got emotional and cried twice.
What? Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, par for the course for me.
Yours is from crying all day. It's neither here nor there. But I did. Okay, so here was my hesitation on seeing it. Number one, Hillary Clinton's a producer, and I hate her with a fiery passion.
Not me. I love her.
Gross. We can't even. Literally, I get fiery rage inside. How he can love that woman, I don't know. And secondly, I was like, I am not interested in anything that's super feminist and female power and men suck. I hate that. It was not my viewpoint in life. But that's not what the show was.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not even a little.
It is the story of the suffragists.
Not the suffragettes. No.
So these women who fought for
literally
7 years.
7.
I mean, this particular group, Alice.
Oh, I was like, no, way longer.
It was way longer.
Max is texting.
Oh, no, it's just saying he's...
Oh. That's a really pretty face.
Yeah, that's cute. Anyway, they fought for many, many years, but this is particularly focused on Alice. That's terrible, I forgot her last name.
Oh my gosh.
And her group of people, which was a 7-year battle until they got the 19th Amendment passed. Alice Paul. And so it's just this, it's kind of like, it's not like at all Hamilton, but kind of.
Just because it's historical.
It's historical.
It's a musical.
But all of the characters' names.
Pattery.
Yeah, and all of the characters' names, they're real people.
Yeah.
And I actually just read this. She studied it extensively, and it used letters and books. That book was real. That was written by her.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's pretty historically accurate.
So she wrote the book, the music, the lyrics, and stars in the show.
Her name is Rachel Taub.
No, it's not Rachel.
What's it?
You're embarrassing.
Shayna. Well, whatever. Taub I got right. Shayna Taub. I don't know where she came from. I don't know where she's been, but I am in love with her.
Shut up. That was Emily Skinner. I knew it.
Oh my gosh, Emily Skinner was who?
She was the part I
Southern.
said you're gonna play. The rich lady.
Yeah.
100%. I knew it. I'm like, that's the sideshow lady. Here's a little insider info for you. Jerry doesn't ever read the inside of the playbill. Why? Because I like to keep it pristine so I can frame it.
I do. I read them, but I haven't read any of these yet. Because I'm menopausal and old and I need light. I need a lot of light to be able to see. Anyway,
my beloved Jen Colella is in the show.
yes, Jen Colella is in it. She's wonderful. But let's go back to Shane Taub.
Yeah.
This girl, I don't know how she is. I don't know where she's come from. She wrote the book. She wrote the song.
Her voice.
And her voice is so cool.
Oh, so good.
It's so good. And actually, every single person in the show. There's this one lady who plays President Woodrow Wilson, because it's only women in the cast. And she is so Jane Lynch. Like, literally, I'm like, Jane Lynch, is that you up there? Like, what's happening? And when she
Her name is Grace McLean.
When she wasn't being President Wilson, she stood out.
Oh, like, she was giving it.
She was
working
all in. And she's probably in her 50s.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, like, she is. Anyway, you guys.
So good.
And it's one of those things where all of the songs are really good, but kind of like Hamilton, it would be really hard to take them out of context because they're speaking about very specific events and people and things. Except for there's this one song called The Great American Bitch. It is awesome. I'm like, that one could be done. It is so good.
We found the teen girl number for workshop.
And there's a woman, I like the woman who wrote the letter to her son.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That one is really good. I mean, there were a few that I was like, you
called
can make
A Letter
that
from
work.
Harry's Mother.
Yeah, A Letter from Harry's Mother, I think you could do. There was another one where I was like, that could work. You could take that outside of the but there is so much to be said for stylized movement.
Oh my gosh, it was so incredible.
Because again, this is another one that was not like it was like choreographed dance.
No, it was movement.
You have
using the physical space and telling a story with your body and emphasizing movements and gestures and like it was so 12 strong.
12 women standing in a row singing this song, and all they're doing is going. But they're all together, and it's so powerful.
It's incredible.
And like, there's this section where they're in jail, and their hands are behind their back.
That's when I cried.
Yeah.
Oh my
and they're being abused in jail, and that was choreographed, but choreographed movement.
Yeah.
And
like it was so real. Like you could see these men that weren't on the stage. You could see these prisoners. You could see like
how they were being slapped down to the ground.
Oh
how
my
they
gosh.
were being like abused.
They got attacked in like a riot in one scene, and I was like, "What is happening?"
But they didn't really. You know what I mean? Like you just
see.
Imagining at one point there was a full fire in the middle of the stage.
Oh my gosh, like real fire,
like
legit on fire
from the floor. Yeah, coming up from the floor.
What? And then they lit his face on fire.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, wow. This was another one. Now this was so interesting because very minimalistic on the set, but it was beautiful. Like beautiful wood paneling would come in, and then just like a table and chairs would come up, or the gate for the White House would come down, or beautiful trim work. But for the most part, very simplistic. And there was one part where the girl, what was her name? The girl that was on the horse. Esmeralda, but that's not it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Inez? Yeah.
Milholland?
Yeah, Inez Milholland. Again, another real person. And they have a real picture of her in one of their first themes where she was like, I'll ride out on a white horse. And it was this big production kind of thing. And so, but for the horse, it was like a giant, you know, like 50-gallon drum, a white drum that she was sitting on. And then like this horse's head, but it was
like a mask.
Yeah, it was like a mask. But it was great. Like it served the purpose. we looked at each other at intermission, and he was like, I really like this show. I'm like, me too. It was just, yeah.
I loved how the songs came back. Like, there's like 2 versions of every song. There's like a reprise of everything. And you hear that and you're like, oh, I don't want to hear that song again. No, it's not like that. It like beautifully ties up in a beautiful bow, and like, I don't know how to explain it. So like they sing a song called Wait My Turn, and then
that was one that made me cry. Because they're like, when's it my turn?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my gosh.
And there were Black women also represented in this. And so the first time it was the white women singing it, and the second time it was the Black woman.
No, it was the Black woman. She was like a powerhouse saying, I've waited enough, don't tell me I have to wait anymore, this is bullcrap, you know, and then she stormed out, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's true.
And then she comes back at the end after they have won, and then she's singing, and she goes, you know that it's not gonna make any difference for
right.
us.
So there were 2 like powerful Black women, and one was a lot more pessimistic, and the other one was like really, you know, really really hopeful. And so she's like, they did it, we got the 19th Amendment, and the other one's like, good for them. She's like, you know that they still aren't gonna let Black women vote, just like they won't let our husbands vote. And you're like, ugh.
But, and it was such a beautiful show, and it had such a beautiful message. And they sing a song called I Was Here. You guys.
Oh yeah.
I can't. It is so beautiful. It is so moving. It is so, I want my sisters to know I was here. I want my children to know I was here. I want my great-grandchildren to know that I was here. We were here. We did this. We fought for this. This happened because of us. We never gave up. And there are several points in the show where these women are like, okay, we've been in prison. We've been abused. We've been ridiculed. Like, we're done. We can't do this anymore. And this, she's just like, when is it enough? And she's like, it's not. And there's a whole song called Is It Worth It? Oh, merciful Mary.
Yeah.
I lost it completely, because this woman is like, go have a family, go have a life, go do these things. And she's like, no, because if I do that, who's going to carry this on? Who's going to continue to do this? And then she's like, well, I hope it's all worth it. And she sings this beautiful song about, oh my gosh, is this worth it? And then she decides, yes, it is. And she gets
carried
imprisoned.
on that fight until the 1970s.
Yes.
This started in 1913 for her.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
She fought until the 70s.
Insane.
And she actually drafted the Equal Rights Amendment and named it the ERA. And in one of the last scenes, this young girl comes in, and anyway, she's like, I heard that like you wrote that before my mom was born. And anyway, she is like, we have to get it passed. We only have until 1982 for it all to be ratified.
We have to get it done. We have to get it done.
Yeah. And I guess for me, like the important part of it is this story isn't
not done, and it's not done yet.
Well, it is. Like the Equal Rights Amendment passed.
But they say keep marching.
Yeah.
And the end of the show is so beautiful. It's like, keep marching. We're never going to have people in office that we're going to agree with all the time. So what do? We keep marching. What do? We keep raising our voices. We keep fighting for change. We keep trying. We just keep trying. We never give up. We just keep going. We just keep going. Keep marching. And I was like,
It's very powerful, and so it's like just a great.
I want to bring my daughters to see this.
Lesson.
I absolutely want to bring my girls back and see this show. This is like the epitome of girl power. It's so.
It's also really funny.
It's hysterical. Grandmas and mothers and daughters and like, it's multi-generational. Everyone should see this show because of the historical aspect of it, and because the music is beautiful, the story is beautiful. Like, and I will be honest, I did not realize all that went into this. I didn't realize. I was just like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about it in history class. I remember reading a little bit about it, but it was like swept under the rug. And this show is like, oh, hell to the no, you will know.
Just like that women truly didn't have the right to vote.
And the whole song about being married?
Yeah.
Like, why would I get married? If I marry you, I die. Essentially, legally, I die. I lose everything. Everything I have becomes yours. I am your property. You own me. I have nothing. Why am I even, why? Why would I get married?
You don't own me. Thanks, suffragettes.
I was like, suffragists.
That's a hard word to say.
Well,
suffragists.
You know better, now do better.
Yeah. Also, one of my other favorite characters, she's like Alice's best friend. And now we're totally besties.
Because her name is Allison.
Guess what? Her name is Allison. She was walking out the line and I was like, oh my gosh, you did such a great job.
I was like, you remind me of my friend Erin Wilson. She was like, oh, that is the best compliment ever. I was like, do you know her? And she's like, no. But if I remind you of your friend, I love that.
Yeah, and then he said, Al, take a picture. And she goes, Al, is your name Allison? I said, yeah. And she goes, my name's Allison. How do you spell it? And I said,
yeah, she's like, wait, how do you spell it?
And I told her, I was like, L-O-Y-S-O-N. She goes, oh, I'm L-O-Y-S-O-N. No one's L-O-Y-S-O-N. I'm like, I know. No one is that.
She's like, I had to go to Palm Springs.
No, Myrtle Beach.
I had to go to Myrtle Beach before I found any tchotchke with my name on it.
Anyway, she's like, get over here. So we have a picture with her and we're practically moving in together because we have the same name and we understand the pain of never being able to find our name on anything, except for we also realize that our way is the best way.
Yeah, A-L-L-Y-S-O-N. Anyway, you guys, please go see this show. It is so good.
We're like feeling so great because you know our last trip was kind of like a wah-wah on our shows.
We're 3 for 3. Guys, 3 for 3. Go see this. This is a show that will run forever.
I don't know if it will.
Not necessarily here, but I mean, like, it will play regionally.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already casting the show. Like, I already have.
I mean, it's a full woman cast. You know, there's
17 women. That's it.
There's always way too many women in the theater world, and not enough men. So this show is
17
working
ladies.
Out.
And there was a protest. There was a protest. They stopped the show. There was a protest.
Middle of the show.
They stopped the show.
We're like watching, and in the box seat on the left side, someone's like throwing a banner over, and I was thinking, oh, well, it's part of the show, because it said Suffs is whitewashed, and I was like, kind of weird, but okay, because it was kind of moving into a section like that.
I was like, this feels a little modern.
Yeah,
I didn't think we were here yet.
And so we're watching these people. It took them 17 years to tie the banner, and there's one lady, by the way.
No, 2.
Sitting in the box seat.
Oh yeah, there was one lady sitting in the box seat.
That was her seat for the night. And so I was thinking, what is happening? Yeah. Never mind that the actual actors actually used the box seat later. So it's weird that they sell the seat. But anyway, all of a sudden, they're screaming. Suffs
in
is
the middle of the show.
Cancel Suffs. Suffs is whitewashed. Cancel Suffs. And we're like,
look it up online. Tell us if you can find a clip.
What is happening? And all of a sudden, and the actors,
they're like, what the hell?
It's President Wilson. It's just 2 people on stage, and they're like going on with it.
But they're like, something's wrong. Like,
and so then finally they like stop, and you hear the stage manager, we're gonna stop the show for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. And the 2 actors are like,
then they were like, woo!
Yeah. And then they like walked off. Anyway, and they're like, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna wait for just a moment, as they're like trying to yank the sign down. And I'm like, what happened to the people?
They took them out. They took them out.
I just didn't understand.
And then the audience was like, boo! And I was like, yeah, get them.
I didn't understand why the ushers, who, I mean, if you so much as like sneeze on your camera during a show, you know what I mean?
Sneeze on your camera?
Whatever, like if they see anything, they're like running over and stopping you from doing anything. I'm like, we all saw it. Where were you? You didn't see the sign coming over the banister, and you weren't like running,
what are you doing?
To like tackle them down?
Right. It was weird.
Crazy.
Yeah, so they stopped the show. And then the actors left the stage, and we all were just like, okay, now what?
And then we had to wait because, you know, as I mentioned, it took 5 ever for them to remove it. I was like, the guy was trying to untie it. I'm like, yank it. We're done.
Cut it. Who cares?
Anyway, so then they finally finished. They're like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We will continue with the show.
And they like hoop-de-doo right back on, and they were like, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because they were just being themselves, like walking back out like, hey, that was cool. Like, we all just experienced that. Cool, let's go on with the show. But then later in the show, they actually drop banners from the box seats. And then the Shayna, she goes, this is all part of the conference. And we're all like, oh,
and we're supposed to be,
we all died. We're like, oh, that's hysterical.
Anyway, so that was fun.
It was crazy.
Fun experience to have.
Yeah, it was awesome. Anyway, we are over 20 minutes now, so we're gonna wrap this up.
Also,
please go see Suffs. It's
see Suffs.
You'll love it.
Also, I don't think anyone's really watching these right now. Oh, Max is calling. Okay, goodbye, everyone.